You'd think I'd know this by now, but I don't. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is our fourth IBPC, International Flag Indicator Competition. It happens every year. I'm really glad that we started this off because it attracts so many incredible artists from around the world. So, and not only does it attract people from around the world, but they actually show up. You know, the artists actually make it a point to attend these receptions, and that makes it even more special. I'm so honored that you've taken the time and made the trek to be here. We're still doing a good thing here, and I thank you because your work, it makes this place. That's all there is to it. So it's one thing to have a venue like this, but to be filled with such awesome artwork is another thing. So I have a little bit to say. First, we have another show going on in the other room. And I thought it would be really cool to do this because, you know, you are the benchmark. All of these works in here are where younger people aspire to be. And so with the help of Beau and Kara, we put together another show in the other room that is Lauren Dillinger's students from Stratford High School. Her students, Stratford High School is about 45 minutes to the southwest of here. Students of Kara's that are from her middle school age students in paint and clay workshops. I think it's really important to do that because we are all, whether we realize it or not, we have mentors in life. We have fathers that we've found. We have mothers that we've found. We have professions that we have found. And we attach ourselves to them to learn more and grow from. And to have that show at the same time as this show, I think it's just going to elevate these students in the other room. And so my hat is off to you for being who you are, to be that for them, whether you realize it or not. So thank you. I haven't actually decided yet. Does that sound so? I'm just being honest. This is such a hard thing to do. Every year, all of these shows, any one of them that I've juried personally, I understand why, when I bring in outside jurors, why they're shaking their fists and swearing at me all the time that they're judging a show. Damn you, David! I'll never do this again! I remember one time, Frank Bernarducci was here from New York. So Frank Bernarducci, if you're not familiar with him, he was one of the biggest art dealers in Chelsea, New York. Chelsea is one of the most prestigious areas of Manhattan to own an art gallery. And he was with Louis K. Miesel for years. And I had a funny story to share with him when we actually met. I flew him here to judge one of the Angie shows that's coming up in the fall. That probably 10 years before I ever even thought about opening a museum in Wausau, I had submitted my portfolio to Frank Bernarducci and Louis. And I got a handwritten letter back, handwritten, mind you, worthy of framing. It was beautifully written that although my work is stunning and of the caliber that we choose to exhibit here, we are not at this time looking for any other artists to take on. And so Frank and I are sitting at the Mint when I shared that story with him. The Mint Cafe is a little place, a little diner on 3rd Street here, and he goes, "Ooh, this is embarrassing and uncomfortable." And I said, "No, it's really cool, it's really great." But when Frank was here during the Angie, he actually got on the phone with Alyssa Monks and Vincent DeSiderio. And for anybody in the art world that knows who those two people are, for him to confide in them to decide who would win that year. Vincent and Alyssa are probably as high on the food chain in the art world as you can get in the contemporary art world. And I listened to them talk back and forth about their deliberations. And I think that year, now that I'm talking, Cynthia Rizza won.
She did?
Yes.
Amazing.
And it was an amazing painting. She was relatively unknown. New Hampshire painter?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
And she flew here because Barbara, who's in this show, was also in that show. Barbara Hack is from Wausau, Texas, just outside Boston. They talked, and Barbara convinced Cynthia to make the trek up here. And she won that best of show that night. So
Yeah, we had never met.
Yeah.
She said something online, and
Yeah.
she flew up. She stayed in my room. It was a great thing. But I remember, I knew she was coming.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so this place has pulled so many people together and has, what I believe it's done is it's literally elevated their careers, because even though we're tucked away in a small town in Wausau, Wisconsin, the rest of the world is watching what we're doing here. Because the rest of the world, they have certain criteria in the museums that they have to follow with their board of directors. And so there are very few places like this where cutting edge work can be viewed without having a name that's in the $500,000 price tag island for artists. Okay? This needs to be seen. So we have had those people here, people like Beau and Vincent DeSiderio. But it's so important to show these works, not only for the artists to be seen, but for my community and people from out of city, out of state, out of country, to view these works in a museum setting that does the respect it should for the work that's being exhibited. So, I just don't see. This is not easy, so I'm going to read this. Okay. So I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. This is not to disclude anyone, but I think that these people who have entered, you should really take a close look at their work, even though they didn't win a place in the show. Number one, they got in to this show. Number two, I'm awarding them with an honorable mention, which means I really do want you to take a closer look. Stephen Hughes for Tourmaline. It's an acrylic 20 by 16 that was accomplished in 2023. It's on the reception area here when you first walk in. We've exhibited Stephen's work here before. He also goes by the name of Primary Hughes. His work is exquisite. Every time I show his work, he's always this close to being placed. And he should know that. I'm maybe butchering his name, but Cotton Krizenga, The Moth. That's over in the first gallery here. It's a graphite and pastel and gouache, 22 by 16 that was done in 2024. There's something extremely ethereal about that to me that I kept coming back to. It's very delicate, it's ominous. You know, and here's what happens, and I had never heard of this artist before. So what I do then is I start researching to see if they just got lucky, you know, and produced one brilliant piece out of how many, whatever they've done. She's very consistent, and so I love that piece. Mary Solberg for a sideshow. Oil, gold leaf, circus lights and glitter, 50 by 50, done this year. Okay. Now, this very well could have been best of show. I'll tell you that right now. Wherever you are, Mary. Where's Mary? I know she's here tonight. Let me leave it at that. I think she's brilliant. We've exhibited a lot of her work here over the years, and she's a Wisconsin artist. Watch her. And if you like her work, support her. Okay? David Morris for Ada Angelista, which is really ironic because we've also shown the works of Ada Angelista here. The subtitle to that title is The Artist with Floral Designs #2. It's an oil on panel, 8 inches by 8 inches, done in 2024, which is just opposite this wall. Tiny little piece. We've exhibited a lot of David's work over the years. Just a brilliant painter, like Elena, or Olena, however you know her, Barikina, that's in the little alcove right over here. She won, 2 years ago, she won the International Portrait Competition for her small portrait. I can't remember what the title of it was, but it was like a bald man, but it was so brilliantly done and tiny. Yeah, I love seeing artists over and over again that reach out and want to be part of this because they're climbing and they're making names for themselves all over the world, and I just think it's phenomenal. Ryan Samuelson. This is still honorable mentions. It's titled Oil Study, and it's an oil on canvas, 36 by 36 inches, 20 by 25. It's right here by Nancy Lalaberry, who is a local painter. It's brilliant. Ryan is an emerging painter right here in Wausau, and I've watched him grow. And I've never met a more serious young man in the painting world than Ryan. And what he's done here makes me think we have to watch this kid because he's young and he's brilliant and he's hardworking and he is one of the most lovable, kind-hearted people you'd ever want to meet. And he's with painting like this, he's going places. And I wanted to give that an honorable mention because he's worked hard to be able to do that over the years. Julianne Yonker for Goldie, which is right over here behind George Nichols. Hi, George.
Hey, dude.
George is also in the show. This is oil on panel 36 by 24 that was done in 2025. Julianne and I talked about this piece, and what was thrilling for her is that it was actually a commission piece that she was just left to her own devices. And a lot of times commission pieces, people tell you exactly what they want, but they just freed her to do what she wanted to do. And I think there's nothing that makes a painter more ecstatic than to just be cut loose and trusted to move that they want, the way that they want to and need to, at the time that they want to and need to in their studio. Julianne is one of the most brilliant painters in the United States. She's part of the Sal Montgomery Club in New York, and we've shown her work here before. I got a solo show of her work at my gallery here downtown Wausau. She's not only a brilliant painter, but she is one of the most sincere, sweetest painters you'll ever want to meet in your life. So please say hi to Julianne. Kumiko McGee. Kumiko. Is it Kumiko?
Yes. Kumiko.
Kumiko.
Kumiko. Yes. You're right.
Kumiko McKee.
Thank you.
The piece is titled Alice, graphite on paper, 40 inches by 30 inches, made in 2022. It's right here. It's a very subtle piece. I deliberated about this piece because it seems to be done in all B, 2B, and 4B pencil, which is not a drawback. The way it's executed is with such delicate, it's a delicate hand to do that. I've been drawing my entire life, and I've done photorealism drawings up the yin yang, and you know, my graphite range goes up to 12B, and sometimes pastels, so that I can get that black or that white, that smaller numbers on the B scale can't provide you. But there's something very magical about the way that she has handled the limited palette, I'll call it a palette, in black and white, that is so stunning and so beautiful. And I think it's, even though it's not easy to do this, I think in its simplicity, it gives this subject matter such power that I'm blown away. And so thank you for entering it.
Thank you.
Third place is McClellan Flat. McClellan's not here tonight for high key oil on panel. 24 by 15 inches, done in 2024. And I'm trying to think of, oh, it's right over here. It's this piece right here. There is a subtlety to the brushwork that I admire. It borderlines on almost being overworked, but it pulls it off. That it pushes the limits of paint in the imagery, still dealing with the surface without destroying it. And it has a beautiful light quality. And I'm mesmerized ever since I opened up. It's one thing to see these things in JPEG when they get submitted, but when you open the box, it's like Christmas Day here, you know? It's a grueling Christmas Day, but I kept going back to that, and it's incredibly impressive, and I want you to take another look at it, because the treatment of the surface there, and with the boldness of the brush marks is a very hard thing to achieve. So McClellan Flat, high key, third place. Here's where I kept going back and forth since I opened all these works. It's not always the biggest painting place that wins an award, okay? For example, 2 years ago, it was Elena Veritina, for very small painting. You don't know it's that small. Like when these things get advertised in Fine Art Connoisseur magazine or Fine Art Today or Art in America, all you're seeing is, you know, an 8-inch by 8-inch on a magazine, right? High resolution photograph. When you're looking at it on the internet, you're lucky if it's this big, right? To see them in person is so important. It's so important to see these works in person. Chloe McClellan, To Pick a Flower, oil on panel, 30-inch diameter. It's done on a Tondo panel, which is at center right behind Mary Solberg's here. I was going to give it best of show. But I hate circular compositions. And to be honest, I can't, I've never seen a successful circular composition. It's hard enough to work in a square format, and I think every painter understands that, but a square format is a bitch. That's all there is to it. To make it so successful with the rest of what's going on, she comes really close, and this was really difficult for me to, I shouldn't use the word hate. I don't hate anything, honestly. But it's a brilliant painting, and she is definitely a painter's painter, but it's calculated, not like, if anybody's ever heard of Alex Konevsky, who is one of the leading painters in the movement called disruptive realism in the world. Alex Konevsky, Jenny Seville, Kai Samuels Davis. We've shown all of them except for Jenny, which we will one day. But her work goes for like $1.2 million too. So it's been a challenge to get it here. It's pretty much all sold out. So, there's something. It's not easy to paint like Chloe's painting. It takes a true color scientist to do what she did there. It almost reminds me of what Jennifer Balkan is doing in Austin, Texas. But Jennifer's work is a little bit more subtle in her denotation of how she wants to describe a space with a certain hue and value. Chloe just shoves it in your face, and I really love that, and she makes it work. So that is second place in the IBPC 2025. Barbara Cat, oil on linen, 6 inches by 6 inches, right behind me on this wall. It's one of the smallest pieces in the show, and it's also my best of show. I'm shaking right now.
Thank you so much.
We've exhibited Barbara's work in the past, and we will continue to exhibit her work. Barbara, like I said, is just outside of Austin, Texas, in Flower Mound. She teaches there. She teaches in Italy. She shares her process relentlessly. The piece titled Cat behind me, it is so simple. It's so simple, but it is so difficult to do something that looks that simple. Every mark matters because it's not even 6 inches by 6 inches. I think that may be the paper size, but it's matted over just to the image size. And it's oil. It is oil on paper. You know, when you see a piece like this, you're in the presence of greatness because if you've studied painting and you've seen as many paintings as I have, or any one of the painters that are in this room, you understand what it takes to do something that she's done. She made it look effortless. It is so simple, and it is so brilliant, and it is all there. It's all there, and it's so intimate that it just keeps sucking you in to look at every perfect idea about what needs to be where in that painting. And so my hat's off to you. You knocked it so out of the park. I'm blown away. So thank you. And with that, I'd like you to talk a little bit. Would you be willing to talk a little bit?
Talk me about what? You know me better than that. You ever hear about the piece?
Yes.
Okay, I'm still kind of in shock.
And whatever you feel.
Thank you. This is, I've been in everyone since you started this, and this is an outstanding place, but the girl in her cat has been a student of mine since she was 9 or 10. And I've gone through lots and lots of things with her, and she's been through some very serious medical things in the last year, and I just wanted to, less is more. I wanted to be very direct with it and get her personality and things that were coming through it, so I really appreciate it, because that was something I just really wanted to do, and do differently, and I so appreciate you appreciating it.
It's,
Thank
you
you.
know, and that's just it, you know, when we advertise the show, it's about the relationship between the sitter and the painter, okay? And you feel that relationship. You know, it's, you did it. I also want to recognize that Judy Tactics is here from Ohio. We've shown Judy's work many times here in this museum because she's brilliant, and her work is right here, poet. It was hard. You know, it's just, but thank you for being here. We're, you know, George Nichols is here from Wausau. He's a young emerging painter. Tony Armendariz is here from Illinois with his wife. Tony has this watercolor that's right over here. Jose. It's a very unique composition. Check that out. We've exhibited Tony's work here before. Tony is an awarded, like national, internationally awarded watercolorist from Illinois, and you may want to pay close attention to what he does and maybe check out some of his other work online. I'm looking through the audience. I also want to point out that Cassie Havel is here tonight. Cassie Havel is a local painter and is starting college, and she got into the show. Her work and work ethic are outstanding, and she's absolutely brilliant for her age. And you're going to be going to MyAd? MCAD. Okay, so that's right. You were looking at MyAd, but so she's going to be going to the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and you know, I want you to pay attention to what she does because she's someone to watch. She's incredibly prolific, and she has kept herself open to all different mediums, and enjoys playing. And that's, I think, is one of the most important aspects of being a painter, is never stopping yourself or affording yourself the time to play. Bruce Westberg is also here, and he has the piece behind us that is White Man Runs Him. We've exhibited Bruce's work here in the past. I thank all of you for being here and being part of this. And Mary Solberg's here.
I'm over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's over there. So please say hello to Mary. We've exhibited her work too. As a matter of fact, 2 shows previous to this, I think, your work that was the Fallen Angel was here.
Yes.
It was absolutely brilliant. We're, you know, we keep an eye on people here, and I am so grateful that you believe in this place enough to keep submitting. Thank you.